Welcome to The Business Show, the place where business minds share their biggest highs, toughest lows, and everything in between.
Hello and welcome to the Metropole Business Podcast, where we explore real business journeys, practical insights and lessons that help young people understand the world of enterprise. My name is Mr. Fag. I'm the Director of Future School. You're stuck with me for another week because our year 11, 12 and 13 students who normally host are either on study leave or on work experience. But I'm really pleased today to be joined by Tala Swaden, who's just participated in the Metropole Showcase for this year's Global Innovation Challenge. So we're talking about enterprise, but innovation is a key part of this as well. So really going to focus on that. So welcome, Tala. Thanks for joining us this morning. So first of all, what is the Global Innovation Challenge?
So the Global Innovation Challenge, or the GIC, is a GEMS education initiative that encourages students to find and identify real-world issues to design practical solutions and it combines innovation, technology, and problem solving all into entrepreneurship, in which they identify a problem that they find in the real world that could be overlooked, for example, or hasn't had a tangible solution behind it, and in which they come up with a project to help make the world a better place.
Brilliant. So real solutions to real world problems. So who's been participating in the showcase?
So the showcase in our school, for example, it's mandatory for all schools to participate in it. So the judges can select their finalists to represent the school. What I found interesting, I wasn't the only one who participated. There was a wide range of students participating in the initiative itself. So what I found really interesting about it as well is that everyone's tackling very different problems, from health to technology as well, which makes the showcase a really diverse and interesting experience. So it was just students around each school, and then they get selected towards the GIC.
So all year groups in secondary school.
Yeah, secondary and the future.
So in active and future school, fantastic. So you did the showcase. I saw it it was down in the reception area yesterday. So what happens now? So you've showcased all of the students participating have showcased their ideas, their innovations. What happens now? So
what happens, sir, is that first of all, the GIC is divided into the junior teams, which is ages 9 to 13, so anything under year 10, and then the senior teams, so year 10 over or 14 plus. So what happens is, after the presenters showcase their initiatives and their projects, they get selected. They get selected as representatives of the school, and get to pitch their ideas to mentors, external judges, and just enter higher levels of the actual GEMS Global Innovation Challenge itself.
Fantastic, and obviously Metropole's got some really strong history in the GIC, has
yes,
it? Winning it last year, which hopefully we can repeat again this year. So, what made you choose to participate in the competition then, Tala?
Why I did participate in the competition in the beginning is, first of all, I saw a real world problem. So I really do. My project is about sleep deprivation, which really aligned with my interests of health, innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. I believe that my project can really move to a more of a national scale, and I feel like it's a problem that's really overlooked. And I believe that with the right help, with the right mentoring, with the right assistance and advice, I can really scale this into a really big project.
Fantastic, and kind of building on that, what's your aim by having entered GIC? That's why you wanted to participate, because you've got this great idea. And then what do you hope to achieve by entering the competition?
So my main goal is to obviously scale it into a real world project that's normalized by schools and all that. I want feedback from experts. I want this to be just beyond a silly project that I came up with. I wanted to go from an idea to a real world solution. I want exposure to, and the GIC itself why I came on this podcast today is just to spread how when you have an opportunity, you should always take it. And whenever you have an opportunity or you want to scale something and turn it into a real world initiative, you can, if you just have the right motivation. When there's a will, there's a way.
So kind of coming back to what Mr. Mant was talking about last week, about if you've got an idea, kind of go for it and get some advice, but really try to put into practice. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about your pitch for your actual product in a minute that you've come up with. But how did you come up with this innovation that you've entered into GIC, and obviously you would love to be able to turn it into a real world product? How did you come up with this?
So the project that I made, NeuroWake, is a combination between personal experience and obviously loads of research behind it as well. So like many students, I found a problem and I wanted to come up with a solution for it. I noticed how exhausted people feel in the mornings, especially when they have exams, which could really affect how the rest of their day goes, how their performance is in day-to-day experiences and all that. When I looked into it, I discovered that how you wake up, because my project is about sleep deprivation and inertia, I discovered that how you wake up could really affect your everyday life processes and your performance, and I feel like that's something that's really overlooked, and I wanted to make a difference, like every student should. When you see a problem, you should always take action, no matter how, if you feel like you can't do it because you're a student, you don't have the right materials, there's always a possibility. For every problem, there is a solution. Whether you're a student, an entrepreneur, a professional, there's always something behind it that you can...
Absolutely, and that's all the best products. They identify a problem and they provide a usable solution for it. So, kind of Dragon's Den, Shark Tank time. Let's hear your pitch for your business. You got your product. So, talk the audience and myself through your pitch for your product.
Right. So, NeuroWake is actually a project I found due to obviously behind every solution there was a problem, and there was what I found basically is that sleep deprivation is a huge issue that is very overlooked, as I've mentioned multiple times, and what I did is that, first of all, I looked into it, I researched. Traditional alarms have many consequences behind them, even though we don't really usually notice it that much, but there are huge issues behind using an alarm. For example, it spikes up blood pressure, it messes the cardiovascular system. There's a lot of issues coming behind traditional alarms. So what I created is NeuroWake, which is a smart wake-up system that uses a wristband to track your sleep cycle and patterns behind it, for example, movement, heart rate, etc. And then it stores it into an app, an AI pattern that uses technological processes to then, which is then aligned to the NeuroWake box, which is basically is placed like a lamp with light that turns on slowly. That, let's say you have to wake up between 6:50 and 7 a.m. Some people, based off what time they go to sleep, their diet, their age, and all of those like factors in their lives could affect whether or not which sleep. So for example, some people would be better off waking up 6:54 than 6:57 because of how deep in the sleep they are. So this wakes you up naturally by using sound and light that gradually increase, and it wakes you up naturally, which leads to my hypothesis was that it would lead to waking up feeling more natural, more fresh, and that's what it did prove to do. It led to waking up more energized, more motivated, which led to having way better daily performances.
Fantastic. And you've kind of talked about this from the student point of view, but who else do you see who could benefit from NeuroWake?
So our target audience was essentially, if we're looking at more of the business aspect, which is why I came on this podcast today, if we're looking at the business aspect, our target audience was teenagers, exam-focused students, which are ages 13 to 18, but also our secondary audience, which we do hope to scale up to, would be the college, university students, maybe just general adults who have this issue. Because some people, like you, Mr. Fag, like you told me earlier, you like to be shocked awake, you know?
Absolutely.
And we're doing this for the people who are exhausted when they wake up and really suffer from this, waking up late and missing out on important deadlines, schedules, and everyday life.
And I suppose people doing shift work as well, so other adults who kind of keep perhaps different times of work would benefit from being able to have that better quality of coming into the day. So a really interesting product that can benefit students and a wide variety of people. How would you turn this vision and your pitch into reality?
Well, first of all, obviously, why I did it I pitched it to the Global Innovation Challenge was because it was a very known technological and entrepreneur platform, which is where I I knew I could find the right help, the people who truly want this to become a reality, because there were a lot of people who did like this product and did want to help scale it. So I was looking for mentors, teachers, people who have experience in this field who could help me scale it. That's
fantastic. And if you were able to turn that product into a sellable product, how would you see it growing over the next few years?
Well, obviously, first of all, we do want to start selling it as a product. I hope to see it maybe in schools, as in maybe make partnerships and collaborations with different schools and educational platforms. And then I do hope to scale it through universities, maybe in adult everyday life, because I think this would be a project that applies to a really wide audience.
Fantastic. So, any student who's thinking about Global Innovation Challenge, what would be your advice?
So my advice to them is, when you find an issue, when you do find a problem, when there's a will, there definitely is a way. You can scale any project, you can do anything you put your mind to, and if you find a project, get a team, get your friends to come along with you as well, and just try and turn your vision into reality, because anything you do intend to do, and if you are genuinely motivated with a bit of help, you can definitely turn it into reality.
Fantastic. And who should be the teachers within Metropole that they would need to speak to if they've got these ideas? So who are the teachers who drive the Innovation Challenge within Metropole?
So it's not just teachers, honestly. Take advice from older students as well, because I am working alongside a year 12 student, Parth, and we together, like, he is very good at coding, I'm very good at these designs, visions, and pitching. So I think when you combine two different aspects of talent, you can really turn that into reality. But if you are looking for an older mentor, you could go for Mr. Siddiq, Mr. Fag as well. You're very good at the business aspects of all of that and the entrepreneurships and all that. And me, I'm very much willing into helping anyone scale their project if they do need help with it.
Fantastic, and that really kind of leads into our ethos of student leadership. So that's absolutely great. So who are some of the other products that you've seen, some of the other ideas that you've seen in the Global Innovation Challenge showcase that we held yesterday?
Well, I did see a project which I thought was very creative. It was more sustainable to the environment than anything else. It was from a younger student. So if a younger student could come up with an idea that is that passionate, like, you shouldn't be limiting yourself to your age. Any student, which is why the Global Innovation Challenge itself is open to younger students as well, aging 9 to 13, because they have the vision that every student should have, is that anyone can do anything they want to. So the sustainable project was about, I think, the soil and water pollutions and infections and all that, which I thought was really creative, because even though that does exist and there are people who are working to do so, it's really it was really nice and to see it coming from a younger student who noticed these problems when they're often overlooked.
Fantastic. Okay. Tara, thank you so much for taking
Thank
the time
you.
today to share your journey with the Global Innovation Challenge, your brilliant idea and how that could be turned, or what you want to do with that in the future. So thank you
Thanks
to
for
everyone
tuning in to the
listening
Business
to the Business Podcast.
Remember,
Join
every
us next
great
time when we
business
explore the
started with a
skills,
single
mindsets
step,
and the
and maybe
experience that shape
a little
future
inspiration along the way. Catch us next time, where another entrepreneur reveals the highs and lows of their business journey.